Hello and welcome to week 2. I'm super excited for this week as we are going to be focusing on our intentions. And intentions can be physically, it can be mentally, and we're going to get a little bit more into that with this flow. So this is going to involve a little bit more movement and a little bit more balance as we build some strength and also some mobility. So you know the deal. If you need your block or your props, a strap or anything like that, I don't think you'll be needing a strap, but maybe a block for balance, for support, anything that you can think of that is going to improvise a block. If you don't have one, you can use a pillow, you can use a blanket, a folded up towel. So feel free to improvise. The bottom line is that we're using these props to help guide us into these deeper movements for our body in a safe way. So wherever you're at, grab your blocks, grab your props, and come meet me at the mat. So I want you to begin at a cross-legged position, the middle or the back of your mat, wherever feels comfortable for you. We're going to get connected to our mind and our breath. So begin to close your eyes, lengthen up from the crown, sit bones are rooted, and shoulders are nice and relaxed. It's finding the balance between effort and effortless. Where can you be intentional and mindful with your posture and also feel a sense of relaxation? Start to tune into your breath, observing how you're breathing. Then take a nice deep inhale from the nose, fill up those lungs, the chest, and exhale the mouth. Take one more deep breath in from the nose, and exhale the mouth. And one more inhale, fill up the lungs, feel the air going up your nose, down the back of your throat. And exhale the mouth. And just notice what your body feels like. We're going to start to introduce a rhythmic breath. So breathing on an inhale at a count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Continue this at your own rate. Notice if you're being tensed up anywhere in the body, or just how soothing your body may feel. Good. Now on your inhale, inhale your hands up overhead, reaching up from the fingertips, reaching up from the side bodies, and your sit bones are rooted. So you're keeping a little belly tuck in here as if you're gently sucking in. And on your exhale, you're going to slide your left hand down like you're in water, moving through honey. And then walk your fingertips out towards the left. Keep your right sit bone rooted. And your right hand reaches over towards the left wall. You want to slightly engage your left obliques here as it gives the right side permission to stretch a little bit deeper. Provides that safety and that comfort. And just gently, you don't have to over engage these muscles, but just be mindful. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Gently bring your right hand across towards your left knee and then slide your left hand across towards your right knee. So your arms are crossed, left hand on top. And then just allow your torso to collapse down. Take a deep breath in And exhale out. Keep your arms limb here as you slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rise up. Your shoulders are the last to go, and then your neck. Inhale your hands up overhead, reaching up through the side body. Intentionally slide your right hand down towards the right side of the mat. Walk your fingers out as you lean your left hand up overhead towards the right. Keep your left sit bone anchored, so your left hip, and engage in those right obliques. And your left elbow is pushing towards the back wall, just gently. We're being mindful, so you don't have to over engage your muscles. Your gaze can be up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale, slide your left hand down towards the right knee. And your right hand slides across towards the left knee. Now your right hand is on top. Begin to lean back a little bit as you straighten your arms, so you're using your arms as resistance from falling backwards, and your knees are rooted down. Allow the chest to melt over the shoulders. Allow your chin to rest towards your chest. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, slowly release the hands and slide up vertebrae by vertebrae. Okay, do some neck rolls here. Again, intentionally moving. So you're trying to keep your shoulders steady here. And you're just moving your head. And then go the opposite way. Feel those neck muscles being engaged. Find your breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to come onto our hands and knees for our tabletop position here. And we're going to do some thread the needles. So organize your body. Wrists stacked underneath your shoulders. Knees in line with your hip and ankles in line with your knees. Press into your left hand as you slide your right hand up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, slide the right hand underneath the left armpit. Come onto the right shoulder and the right ear. Your left elbow is bent here. Take a deep breath in. Try to square your hips a little bit, so maybe leaning more towards the right. And exhale out. Activate your back and your left bicep as you push into your arm. Your shoulder blade is activated. Slide your right hand up overhead. And exhale, meet the mat. Press into that right hand as soon as it's stacked. So we're not locking the elbows here. Keep it a micro bend. Engage that tricep on your right arm. Toes are tucked here. Hips are squared. And then slide your left hand up towards the ceiling. And exhale, send it underneath the right armpit. Slide it across the floor, coming onto your left shoulder. Hips are squared. Your toes are still tucked. And just notice what you feel from the left side of the body towards the right. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Press into that right hand and gently slide your left hand up towards the ceiling and exhale to release. Begin to walk your hands out in front of you as you allow your chest to melt down to the floor. Your forehead or your chin rests into puppy pose. Hips are stacked over your knees, so maybe take a glance before you allow your chest to completely collapse. Gently tuck the belly button in towards the back of the spine, so you're gently sucking in your belly, not too much, but just a little bit to feel that activation going. Lifting up from the pelvic floor. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly press into your hands here, untuck your toes, and allow your hips to come rest onto your heels. Coming into a form of child's pose, allow the upper back to round. Pretend as if somebody is pressing on your lower back or your hip area. So maybe you even do this with your hands and just press down on your sacral area. The lower back, pressing your hips into your heels. Maybe you're sitting on a block here. If your hips don't meet the feet, that's okay. It's just the intention, so energetically the sensation of it. Then bring your hands back up if you have them on your hips. The upper back rounds. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Gently lift the head slightly up. Begin to walk your hands over towards the left side of the mat. Feeling the stretch on the right side. Maybe you drop your left ear to the mat. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Feel the stretch on the right side of the body. Gently lift the head and then walk your hands over towards the right side. Reaching your left hand over towards the right. The left sit bone is rooted towards the left heel. Maybe drop your right ear to the mat. And find your breath. Feel the support. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Slowly walk your hands back to center here and then rise up into a tabletop position. From here, we're going to kick our left ankle off the mat, extend our right leg back and drop onto the right heel. Press into that left hand and slide your right hand up the left arm, across the chest, up towards the ceiling. Pressing into your left obliques and your left glutes. And the outside of the right foot is firmly rooted. Engage that inner right thigh. Reach up from your left hand. Making sure we're activating through our left shoulder so we're not sinking into that shoulder, but we're pressing the floor away from us. Find your core, find your center. Take a deep breath in. And exhale slowly to slide back down. Going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So kick your right ankle off the mat. Left leg extends and drops onto the left heel. Press into that right hand and slide your left hand up the arm across the chest and up towards the ceiling. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. We're reaching the opposite directions with our hands. Pressing into the outer left foot. Engage in the left glute and inner thigh and quad. Gentle on the knees. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Gently and slowly come back down to center into a tabletop position. Begin to tuck the toes here. We're going to send the hips back and up into our first downward facing dog. So energetically, we're reaching through our heels to reach down towards the mat. Even if they might not reach, that's okay. You can keep a little micro bend within the knees, but activate the quads. Lift the pelvic floor muscle up, and as if you're trying to reach your butt towards the ceiling, you're actively pressing the floor away from you with your hands, bringing your chest towards your thighs. Active within the shoulders. Maybe bend one knee at a time if that feels good for you. Feeling the stretch on the calf. And notice your ankles as you pedal out your dog. Do they shift from one side to another? Can you find the stability and mobility within them? Can you see and notice the strength that they have? Notice how your hips shift from one side to another. What happens to your core? Maybe your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Good, now straighten both legs here. We're going to press into the left leg, bend the right knee, and we're going to send the right leg in between the hands and drop that left knee, untuck the toes for our first low lunge. The right knee is stacked over our right ankle. Hips are squared, reach up from the crown, so lengthen that spine, shoulders are down and back, and then slide your hands up overhead and lift the crown up. Notice your stability here. Both your legs are energetically sliding toward or reaching towards the midline. so they're not splaying out in either direction. You're engaging the inner thighs here as well. Press into that big toe on the right foot. Activate that arch. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, slowly frame your foot again. Engage that core. Press into that left hand. And then slide your right hand up the shin, all the way up towards the ceiling for a nice twist. Allowing the right knee to push towards the center midline area so it's not splaying out. Take a deep breath in, engage the core, and exhale, slowly release. Take a deep breath in here. And inhale your hands back up towards center. We're going to lift up a little bit, so shift the hips back and then tuck the left toes here. And we're going to press into the left foot, into the left heel. Activate both sides of the glutes. Engage the core, reaching up from the side bodies. We're going to activate that left quad to straighten that left leg. So your hips are still squared here. Feel the inner thigh burn on both legs maybe. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. We're going to lean our hands forward, slowly inch your left leg up until it reaches and meets the right leg. Inhale all the way up, straighten both your legs and your arms, and exhale, forward fold. Take a deep breath in. We're hinging from the hips here versus the lower back. So notice if you're rounding from the lower back, or you can send your hips towards the back wall behind you. Keeping a micro bend within those knees so you're activating the quads. Take a deep breath in, your belly is gently tucked in, and exhale out. Begin to lean back gently as you activate the hamstrings and the glutes, as you start to lift your back up vertebrae by vertebrae, ragdolling up. Your arms and your shoulders are limb. The last to go, tuck the pelvis neutrally, shoulders go down and back, and then your head. Maybe close your eyes here and just notice how you feel. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Find your balance. Inhale, reach up through your arms as if you're moving through water or through honey. You're intentionally sliding so you feel the lats in the back activate along with the shoulders. And exhale, forward fold. Begin to place your hands on the mat here. Lean into that left leg so you slightly bend it, and then slide that right leg back all the way. Drop onto that right knee into a low lunge. Left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Square the hips and lengthen up through the spine, reaching up from the crown. Right toes are tucked, and then inhale, slide your hands up towards the ceiling, activating the posterior chain, the back, reaching up from the side bodies. Take a deep breath in, find your center, find your balance. Think of your belly button here. This is your center, your foundation. And exhale to frame the foot here. Press into the right hand and slide your left hand up the shin, the knee, and up towards the ceiling. Hips are squared here, so both your legs are reaching towards the center midline, activating those inner thighs. Notice the feeling within your right heel. Are you activating through that right ankle, reaching through the Achilles? Take a deep breath in. Maybe you feel that a little bit more on the right hip flexor or the glute. And exhale slowly. Come down to frame that left foot. Tuck those right back toes. Square the hips and lengthen up through the crown here. We're going to come into a high lunge by reaching through that right ankle. Activate the inner thigh, the quad, and the glute. And then reach your hands up overhead whenever you feel that comfortability and stability. Find your center, find your breath. Reaching up through the arch of the left leg. Knees are drawn towards the center midline. Engage the posterior chain. Reaching up through the side bodies, reaching up through the fingertips. And then drop onto your right heel here, almost as if you're coming into a warrior two position. Begin to twist the left toes in front of you. Inhale your hands up overhead, both legs are straightened. And then exhale, forward fold. Reaching through your hands, hinging from the hips. And take a nice deep breath here. Energetically pulling up the legs, the arches of the feet towards the pelvic floor. Slightly tucking in that belly button here. Take a deep breath in. Allow your head to just melt towards the floor. Pushing your hips towards the back wall behind you. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Good. Begin to walk your hands towards the front of your mat. Allow your left foot to follow. Twist onto the balls of your right foot and drop down onto that knee. So listen carefully here. We're going to bring the right knee towards the center here and kick the right ankle towards the left side of the mat. We're going to slide the left foot towards the right side of the mat. The knee comes in front of the left, and the space in between your ankles, you're going to sit in between with your hips. So this is a cow face pose. So your left knee is stacked on top of the right. You're sitting in between your feet. If your left knee comes up, that's okay. You want to feel the stretch on the outer hips here. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Honor yourself for this movement, for this stretch, and for the strength. Move in with intention and notice how different this flow felt for you. Even if it might have been a little bit more challenging because you're incorporating other muscle groups together as a whole and finding those intrinsic muscles that support your joints a little bit more. Maybe muscles and parts of your body that you don't usually use every day. Take one more deep breath in and exhale out. Now slowly to come out of this pose, we're going to rock onto our knees forward if this is in your practice, or you can bring your hands behind you and lean back, lift your knees and uncross, and come back into a tabletop position. So do whatever works for your body here. This time we're going to bring the right knee in front towards the hand in the center of the mat. Kick out that right ankle towards the left side. Left knee comes behind the right knee, stacked, and they're crossing. Left ankle comes towards the right side. And then sit in between that space again. Notice the different effects within your hips here, and trying to keep that right sit bone rooted towards the mat. Again, it might not physically touch, but it's the energetic push behind it. It's the intention. And you'll notice that you might feel a little bit more of a stretch there. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Inhale and exhale. The squeeze and soak effect. We're squeezing and contracting the muscles around our hips here, blocking the blood flow so that when we release from this pose, it's all gonna flood, the blood is all gonna flood back towards the hip, providing it so much nutrients and oxygen. Take one more deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly place your hands behind you to lift those knees. Uncross your legs here. Extend our legs out into our final pose, Shavasana. Feet naturally splay out. Hands come by the body, relatively close. Palms can face up or down. Whatever feels good for you. And I want you to set an intention for either the night, the day, or tomorrow, wherever you're at. Begin to take a final deep breath in from the nose, filling up the lungs. And exhale out. Begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes. Making any subtle movement to gently awaken the body. Maybe taking a nice deep stretch overhead. When you're ready, come onto either side to gently press yourself up into a cross-legged seated position. Take a moment to just observe the mind, the body, the differences that it feels, and really honor yourself. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night, the rest of your day. Have a good start to the day wherever you're at. And thank you for joining me today.